What's up, gamers? Today we are going to be going through a small tier list, reasonably quick, on the best Onslaught tanks, so meta tanks for the game. I've got a little list here on my right to remind me, so I try not to miss anything. Let's just keep it to 4, and we can add one if we need to. But starting with light tanks, and I must say, if you don't know what you are doing with light tanks, then don't bother. You're going to probably be more of a hindrance than you are a help. Take a heavy tank, just go deal some damage if you can't play a light tank. But the best light tanks, I hope they are all in this list. It appears like they're not. The best light tank will be the Rheinmetall Panzerwagen. Great shells, great view range, just all of it. That is going to be probably the best one to choose. Now, the next one would be the T100LT. So let's see if we can find that. Okay, there's the T100LT. Also an extremely good one. I'm going to put them in a list. These aren't representative of what they are. They are all very good to play, and how you play them is obviously going to be involved in it. T100LT. The other one that I personally really like is the AMX 13105. It's got very good firepower for certain maps as well. You can get involved. It's got 3-shell autoloader. I think I'm getting the right one because I think the 3090 is the 4-shell. But moving on to medium tanks. Now, TVP is what I would put in. That's got to be one of the best. Its ability cuts the relay down by huge amount, and that's probably one of my favorite tanks to actually play. The next would be the Object 430U right here. That cuts down its reload as well after taking fire, and its armor is just really good. You can sidescope in it. You can actually brawl with some of the heavy tanks, and if you angle it right or get hold down, you can bounce quite a lot of shells. On par with the Object 430U would be the E50. That is also a great tank to use. Recommend using that. And the other one would be the CS63. It's obviously very fast. It's very good at taking early positions and things like that. I just need to find the CS63. CS63 isn't in here because there's no Polish tanks in here. Okay, well, I can't seem to find the CS63, so I'm guessing it is missing out of these lists, and I actually have no idea how they get these little boxes and put it all in here, so whoever does that, brilliant. But let's try and see if we can update them. But yes, CS63, definitely one of the top medium tanks. It's fast, you can take positions that are vital for winning the game. For heavy tanks, I would recommend 100% the 60 TP. The 60 TP is going to probably be your most go-to tank. It's very good. Just what you can do in this tank is you'll just see how quick you can rack the damage up. Its ability isn't actually the best. It's all right, but it's not the best. Now, this one is if you know what you're doing, and if you're in a platoon. If you're in a platoon, you can cause havoc. AMX 50Bs, but I would recommend being in a platoon, even if they're not, even if they don't have the 50B and they have someone else. It's an extra support tank, and you're probably on comms with each other. It makes a world of difference. This goes for the next tank, but less of this tank is the T57 Heavy, which will be along here. There we go. Let's add the T57 Heavy in. In fact, should we just do this like mediums there? Right. There we go. Now, just imagine that I have lobbed in this on a medium. Now, this, actually going back to the mediums, is a new one for this round, which I haven't seen it used a lot yet, but I do think it'll be a good tank, is the Batchat 25T. That used to get used a lot in the competitive play back when I used to watch it really, really early on, or Tank Companies, I think it was called. But definitely watch this one, just because I think it will do well this time round. As for the T57 Heavy, the next one isn't necessarily I see a lot of people play. I like to play it, which is why I'm putting it in. And the ability heals the other tanks around you. So I normally play this, because I don't have a mouse. I normally play this on Ensk, the Panzer 7. Now, the Panzer 7, to me, is incredible tank. Plus, with its buff, maybe it's going to be even better. Maybe people will start using it. Huge amounts of armor. Just bait people to shoot into your lower plate. They'll bounce off the lower plate most of the time. Now, An extra all-round tank, the E5. I've used the E5 because of its boat-shaped hull, especially on, is it Stajanski? The one with the broken down factory and stuff. I've used that a lot in there, and actually I do really well. It's all dependent on how you play and who you get against as well. The situational for maps as well would be obviously Ensk. I'd go use something like a mouse. Even the Sajanki one, you could do it if you're fighting in that center bit. Now, TDs, the Foch, but if not the Foch, a good one for low ranks is the E3 because they just don't know how to pen you. And I would pretty much say they are going to be the majority of the tanks that you would use. If you've got a few of these, you can easily play through. If you're a good player, play your light tanks. And generally when you get higher up, the medium tanks, they are going to be good. Obviously, check out the bat chat. Obviously, if you don't agree, just jump into the comments and let me know. And we'll see why and what people play. You can put the STB in. Now, the STB or something like the Centurion Action 10 would also do well in here. There it is. You can put these two in. They will also do good. Mostly because these don't really have gun depression. And this one doesn't obviously have armor, but these have really good gun depression. So either one of these will be fine for maps if you want gun depression or things like that. But I'm probably going to call the list there. Otherwise, you just start throwing in too many tanks, confusing people. And some of them are situational, like you can use those 15, 16, or even the Cranvar on whatever the value one is, Westfield or something like that. But then again, you could just use the 60 TP and slap people for 750. And disappear. So if you like the video, give it a like. If you didn't like the video, then go down below, tell me why. And also if you agree with it or don't agree with it, or what tank I may have missed, because quite often I do miss tanks or forget them. Go and hit the subscribe button and we'll see you next time.